It was one of the swiftest judgments in the history of personal lawsuits, just 2 months after former Fox anchor Gretchen Carlson sued former Fox CEO Roger Ailes. The network settled with her for a whopping $20 million. And some predict there's more settlements and more upheaval to come. Gretchen Carlson had audio recordings. For almost 2 years, she brought her iPhone to meetings with then Fox chief Roger Ailes, collecting goodies like this one. "I think you and I should have had a sexual relationship a long time ago, and then you'd be good and better, and I'd be good and better." Realizing they had a PR nightmare on their hands, 21st Century Fox quickly settled for $20 million and offered Carlson an apology. The news stunned the media world.
The bombshell settlement, $20 million for former Fox News anchor Gretchen Carlson.
Now with the major settlement in the sexual harassment case that rocked Fox News.
While news of the settlement played out all day, it was conspicuously absent from Fox. The network did, however, mention the abrupt departure of longtime host Greta Van Susteren.
Finally, a word about Greta Van Susteren. As I noted earlier, she has left Fox News, saying today the place just didn't feel like home anymore.
But not everyone thinks Susteren's departure was so benign.
This is the slow-motion dismantling of the machine and the roster that Roger Ailes had built.
Susteren had backed Ailes when sexual harassment charges first surfaced. Look for others who had his back to disappear, too. By the way, I didn't put a logo on that, but that was Gabe Sherman from New York Magazine, who also wrote the book, The Loudest Voice in the Room, and he's done some spectacular reporting and is in many ways responsible for what's been happening now. He really believes that there's going to be a total unraveling there at the network, that Greta Van Susteren is just the first, and that a lot of the people who Roger really did mentor, you know, Bill O'Reilly, all those people that he brought on board are going to end up, because they've settled other lawsuits now. And who knows if more people aren't coming out of the woodworks. My guess is, and the thing that only really rankles me about this is that Fox, 21st Century Fox, paid that $20 million, not Roger Ailes, even though he was personally sued. That is wrong.
And he walks away with $40 million.
Yes.
He got the rest of his contract, so it's not like he's going to cry all the way to the bank here. So
this whole thing is disturbing, though, because it's the kind of thing that you heard went on in newsrooms, for years, past decades, and even in corporate America. And what's disturbing is that in this day and age, there are people who can remain in power because they're so powerful and running a successful entity, and no one wants to really rock the boat. And so let's try to just turn a blind eye to this and let it float as long as it can. And I think that was it. 20 years. And now everyone is talking about 4 years ago, we said this, 5 years ago. There's a lot of evidence that people way up high knew this was going on and nothing was done.
Yeah.
I think, though, what was still very interesting to me, the way the bombshell was the word we heard, was how this was clearly throwing Roger Ailes under the bus, granted with his $40 million, but to come out, usually these lawsuits are settled in private, each side agrees not to say anything, there's no finding of, guilty or so forth. In this case, they came right out and said, we apologize for this culture. And then Ailes goes immediately to the Trump campaign, which confirms all the allegations over the years that Fox has been in the pocket of the right wing. So
this is not the slow motion dismantling of Fox. This is the rapid dismantling of Fox. Sean Hannity has become a joke. Conservatives are mocking him for the way he's dived into the tank for Trump. Bill O'Reilly's getting up there in years. This is all coming apart as we're watching it. And Roger Ailes, as loathsome as his behavior has been, is the guy who put all this together, and he's not there anymore. It wouldn't surprise me in the least if a year from now, Trump TV with Roger Ailes is maybe not matching Fox's ratings, because getting cable carriage and all that is very difficult. But I think it may be a more important and influential outlet than Fox News a year from now.
So I'll believe that there's going to be a rapid or slow dismantling of Fox once I see some other names that we don't know go. Because I think that's where it's been happening anyway. These were the enablers, the people who looked a different way, the people who just didn't say anything, the folks that a lot of those women who don't have names that we know went to those supervisors and said, help me. And they said, sorry, can't do anything. So there's a lot of that in there. And when those people go out, then I'll be interested to see what happens. By the way, I am no lover of Bill O'Reilly. Cannot stand him, detest him. But he's not getting up there. Come on. He made him sound like he was anxious.
By the way, I just want to say that I said here on the set sometime over the summer when this story broke, she's got to have audio recordings. There's no way that quote is so bizarre and so specific.
Yeah.
And so it's not a two-party state in New York. You can record somebody without their permission, and she did.